Scrapertron is a social media scraper forged in the heart of a dying star, designed for just one purpose: to scrape everything. Hey everybody, my name is Lloyd. I ran a YouTube ad agency formerly known as the YouTube Ads Guy. Like most agency owners, I wore every single hat. I wrote the scripts, I filmed the videos, I edited the ads, I managed the clients, I handled the sales calls, I did all the marketing, content creation, you name it. And for a while, everything was great. We scaled to multiple six figures a year, working with Inc. 500 companies, celebrity coaches. It was awesome. But here's the truth no one talks about. Even when you're winning, it can feel like you're losing because you're stuck doing every single task. That's when I started building tools, not just using ChatGPT. I'm talking about fully automated AI workflows using no-code tools like N8N, Replit, Manus, Make, and Lovable. And out of that exploration of need came my new agency, Growth Creator AI. Scrapertron is an N8N AI automation workflow that scrapes content from any social media profile. You just give it a command and it pulls the latest content from any user. So in this video, I want to walk you through exactly how it works, how I built it, and how you can get the setup file for yourself. No coding required. And the cool thing for now is this is going to be just part one. Scrapertron can do a lot more than just scrape Instagram Reels. So if you like this video, make sure to subscribe because future episodes will dive deeper into its capabilities. So let's do a quick demo. All right, this is Scrapertron. So it starts off with a Slack trigger. It moves into a text classifier, which just understands, hey, is this Instagram we're talking about? Is this YouTube we're talking about? Or is this X? Eventually I'm going to add LinkedIn, but these are the three that I work with the most. So once it can figure that out, it'll move into the information extractor. And that information extractor will then identify the users and it'll identify how many reels they want to be extracted. So that we're not just putting a random API call, we're giving it exactly what it is that we're looking for in our specifications. Then it'll let us know by confirming, I will be doing this for you. Then it will run that information through an Appify API. It will then check for duplicates by reading it with the unique ID, which is really just the video ID. And then any records that are duplicates will be skipped and only the unique records will be brought into Google Sheets. From there, we'll then have an HTTP request that will grab the video URL and everything that's from there, download the video, then OpenAI will, through its Whisper node, will actually transcribe the video and then append everything to Google. And then from there, boom, we get a Slack message letting us know everything is done. Now, there are multiple paths this system will go down. The one I'm going to focus on in this video, and I will be going down these other nodes in subsequent videos later this week, we will be focusing on the Instagram node. All right, so N8N has two different states that it exists in, inactive or active. And as a result, each workflow will have a webhook URL that is both one set for testing and one set for production. If we're set into testing, that means we're inactive. If we're set in production, we'll update our webhook URL and we'll set that for active. What we'll do is we will test our workflow. It will send a signal to listen in here. So we're in Scrapertron and I will say, hey, grab me the last 5 reels from, and I'm going to give it from Ryan Pineda. He's always got great content. And the thing is, I can give it multiple Instagram users. I can also give it just the users itself, or I can give it the entire URL, because later on, this information extractor will go in and actually pull out the username itself. So we run it, it does the API call, it's now checking records. Oh, damn it. I actually already have those records. So you actually saw it do exactly what it was supposed to do. It actually went through, checked here, saw that there were all duplicates, and decided not to proceed forward. So let's do that one more time. Running through. Now it's checking. It doesn't see anything this time. Now it's appending. adding those records. It's now doing the HTTP request to grab those videos. Now going through the whisper node in order to transcribe those videos. And now that it's finished transcribing, it adds it to the sheet and it sends me a message. I'm done scraping the last 5 reels from Ryan Pineda. What else shall I do? Scrapertron is always at work. So we check the database here. We see we have 5 reels from Ryan Pineda. And I'll explain this later, why we don't have a reel scraped and why we only have 4. It'll make sense pretty soon. But if you see here, we've got the timestamp, the ID, we've got the short code from Instagram, we've got the caption that he put, we have how many comments have been on it. So here's a more popular one. We have the first comment, somebody saying awesome. So he might be saying, he's saying DM to invest. So someone just decided not to write that. We have the display URL, which I'll show you here. Basically how it actually will look on the net. We have so Roy, you just did a great job installing video itself. And the great part is if you have a video editor, instead of handing them saying, hey, go find these reels and do these things with all these URLs, immediately we have all these things that we can send to them. And we can say, hey, this is how you want to be editing. We see the like counts, the video play counts, Ryan Pineda, this, and then we see the entire transcript. So if we hear what he's saying right here, he literally is saying,
so Roy, you just did a great job.
So Roy, you just did a great job. So Roy, you just did a great job installing my doors on the newest investment. So it is transcribing everything beautifully. Now, let's work through the process of what Scrapertron is actually doing. Scrapertron uses a Slack trigger to basically start everything off. It leverages a webhook URL, and like I was saying earlier, there's a test URL and production URL. So the test URL is basically going to be put into our Slack API. And I will actually create another video showing you exactly how to connect Slack to your N8N so that all of this is handled easily. From there, we have our IG Reelbot. This is just the API call that I have, but there are multiple API calls that I have. The trigger is the thing that's important. We want to trigger on a bot/app mention. It's important because if we do it on anything else, we're not going to get the results that we're looking for, especially if we have it on any trigger. That could get really messy. And then it's going to go to the channel. Instead of watch the whole workspace, I'm going to put it to the channel, and the channel I created was Scrapertron. Scrapertron is the channel. From there, we create a text classifier node. Now, one thing I really love about N8N is it leverages JSON, which is just JavaScript object notation, which is just a very easy way for us as humans to understand what it is that we're writing and coding potentially, and also for a computer to be able to read that, interpret it, and grab the data. It's such a great tool. So we can take things like right here and literally just drag it into here, and immediately you'll see the information. So instead, we're just going to delete that, but just so you can see that in action. It's pretty amazing. And so we've got a Slack trigger. So the Slack trigger is the text. So if you look at here, I'm triggering it. Grab me the last 5 reels from Instagram, the Instagram handle I have. It actually shows that. And I'm creating 2 categories. You can add more categories. And essentially these categories will allow me to have the node go to different junctures depending on what happens. So Instagram, and so we're going to determine if the text is related to Instagram, keywords to look for IG, Instagram, or Reels. If it's YouTube, we're going to determine if the text is related to YouTube, keywords to look for are YouTube, YT, shorts, long form content, and shorts from content. And then X, determine if the text is related to X or Twitter, as some might call it, because we all know that it's still confusing for us. Anyway, once it identifies that was an Instagram trigger, it'll go into the information extractor. Now actually, let me go back here. These are both kind of the same thing, but it's important that we also have a model that we are attaching. For our purposes, I'm attaching OpenAI's 4.1. It is a new one that came out. It is cheap, it is fast, and it is perfect for what it is that we do. And if you look here, it's just making sure to have all the information, and it's going to pass that over. We have all the information passed up. Now we're going to take the JSON text and we're going to drag it into there. We're going to create our schema, and it's going to be from attribute descriptions. So we're going to create a new value called username and a new value called number of reels. So these will be the variables in which everything will be stored under. And we'll set the string to the IG username so that they know to look for the IG usernames, and we'll set it to the number of reels requested. Now this is where all the magic actually happens right here. So you're an expert extraction algorithm. Extract all the Instagram usernames, extract the number of reels from the user's request. If you don't identify an Instagram username, you may omit its attributed value. If you don't identify a number of reels, assume 1. Always output a number. So it grabbed Ryan Pineda from the actual handle here, and it actually grabbed the number of reels. Even if I had wrote the word 5, it would have understood to translate that into the number 5. That's how incredible this is. It also uses OpenAI's 4.1. And then it takes that information, comes back to the user, and it actually, if we test the step, we'll see here, Scriptron is reporting for duty, fetching the last 5 unique Instagram reels from Ryan Pineda. So right here, we have our HTTP request. I've just renamed it to Reel Scraper, but it's an HTTP request node. That node will be a post method, and we see a lot of extra stuff going on here. I'm gonna clear that up actually pretty quickly through this. So this is Appify. Appify allows us to pull anything from the internet that you could possibly imagine. We can scrape everything. For our purposes, we are going to be using the Instagram Reel Scraper, and this one is actually maintained by Appify. So I typically like to leverage those ones, even if they may cost a little bit more at $230 per 1,000 reels, only because I'm able to know that at any given time, it's going to be working right. So it has a username. We can put a series of usernames. We can add my name, and then Ryan Pineda. And if you'll notice here in the JSON, it'll have everything ready to go. We can have different run options, however many we want. We'll hit save and start, but we don't need to do that right now. What we need to do is we need to create all of the information and the code that's going to go here. Now this might look like a lot, but if you look here, we have the ability to do an import CURL, import curl. And what that allows us to do is essentially build everything from the top down without any worries about having to add all the nuanced detail of it. So we are going to go into the Appify docs. And what this allows us to do is shows all the different things that Appify can do. In our case, we're going to run actors synchronously with input and get the data set items. So the things that we need right now are our bearer token, which is our API. And then in the URL itself, you'll see a series of characters. That is going to be the actor ID. Then we need to grab the JSON text, and we're going to send an API request and see if it works. And if it does work, we'll start seeing it crawl. So we know that everything is working. We're just going to get the confirmation of it. Great. It's crawling. And almost done. Great. So for this crawl, I spent 2 cents. Not a lot, guys. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to grab this, and then I'll hit import and import the curl, and then it'll build all these things out. The only thing you need is you'll see bearer, and then you'll see this blank spot here. This is where you're going to copy and paste your API. And then we'll send the body. It'll be for JSON. And then just in case, we'll make sure that we have all this information. Now, what we're going to do here is we're going to drag over from the information extractor the number of reels. And so we can look here, that's Slack. We don't need that. We have the information extractor, the number of reels, and then the username. Now, what you'll need to do, and I will make sure to copy and paste this into a document for you. I leverage ChatGPT to help me build this out. But what this does, most importantly, is it allows, if I have multiple users, if you notice right here, when we ran this actor from the input, if I decided to give it multiple, it'd be Brian, comma, Lloyd, no comma. And so what this code here enables us to do is to split it by commas so that each of the users are split, map it out to trim any spaces, and then join them by that comma. So we'll have our quotations around it, comma, next person with their quotations around it, and then it'll end with no comma at the very end. So once it runs it, we have a two-part here, which will go and create a Google Sheets connector. This Google Sheets connector will grab the sheets, we'll get rows. So we don't want to do anything. We just want to retrieve one row from a sheet. And then it'll be our IG Reels. The ID, we're going to basically match it to the reel scraper here, drag that over to grab the ID. And and one thing I do here as well, if you notice it has success and error, I always output a file. And right here, for this one, I'm intentionally saying continue using error report. So probably just need to put it as continue for now, but I eventually will connect some error reports because like sometimes things don't work and you want to know why. And then what it will do once it goes through this process, it'll check for uniques and then merge this all together to give me one unique record. And it'll be based on the ID, non-matches, input 2, and then it'll move itself into the spreadsheet. And the spreadsheet we will have mapped out. Once we're here, we'll map out everything. It'll add all of our columns and we'll drag and drop every single thing that we need. This is not necessary, but I liked it to clean it up. Essentially what I just did is I separated it by commas so that it's just much cleaner for me. Then it just grabs all that data, and then if you notice these two are now blank because we're going to do an HTTP request. And that HTTP request is going to grab that video URL. It's going to be a GET. Now, something gets a little wonky with Instagram videos for some reason. And I think it has to relate to it being in Bash. So what I do are two things. One, I always output the data and I set that on error to just continue. So this is why when we were here, we had 4 out of 5 records. Because if I didn't, and it errored on this one, the workflow would stop. And if I run into one issue where it just wasn't able to download that video and transcribe that video, I don't care. Like, I'm going to transcribe 1,000 videos, and if I get 95% of them, I'm okay with that not having the other 50 that I might have missed. If I really want those, I can go into those individually, my tool for those ones specifically. Point being is that you want to make sure just to consider when errors are happening. You don't have to throw the baby out with the bathwater. You can allow things to continue to process through and continue. From there, we do an OpenAI call, and on that OpenAI, we will set audio, we will set transcriber recording, and it's just automatically going to have data here. It will transcribe that, and then, just like last time, we will match the HTTP request ID to ID here. We're just going to update our row. So we're not going to, before we were appending our row, when we were checking for records, we were getting a row, and this we're going to update the row. And the only thing we're going to update is we're going to say column to match on is ID. It's going to use this reference to match that ID. If it matches it, then it's going to add the scrape transcript. And then once everything is said and done, and it's able to successfully finish the workflow, it says I'm done scraping. Right here, I am done scraping the last 5 reels from Ryan Pineda. What else shall I do?
The great part about all this, guys, is the buck doesn't stop here. We can do so much with those transcriptions. We can have ChatGPT go and create a new transcription based on what it is that we do, and it can analyze the hook and the structure of the video in order to create a framework for how we want to create our actual Instagram reels. We can actually go and if we scrape 1,000 reels on a given term, we can scrape those reels and then look for signals that we know that are like, hey, this is a viral piece of content. There's just so much that can be done. And so that's why I'm really excited about everything that AI can do. And actually, later on, guys, like I said, I'm going to be creating more videos that show you the rest of how this thing works and all the other ways that we're able to do YouTube, LinkedIn, X, you name it. If you want the full setup files, just check the link below. I've got a full end-to-end workflow ready to import, step-by-step instructions, and a full breakdown of how everything actually connects through my school group. If you're an agency owner, content creator, or CMO just looking to save time and automate your workflow, Scrapertron, it's your new best friend. And this is just the beginning, guys. If you felt this video provided you a ton of value, make sure to like it. Also, are there builds that you're interested in? Comment below, what would you like to see built, and we'll make sure to build that for you. And if you don't want to miss the next videos, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell, guys.